I hear a lot of complaints about there's just no movies for adults that make you think, that that aren't just comic book movies and stuff like that. This is a movie for adults. Obviously, there's some comic book-esque storylines, but
yeah,
I think they do it for a purpose. They use that as a way to kind of mock our current movie culture.
Yeah.
But what was fascinating to me, so I with the family situation with, you know, kids and all that stuff, basically the only time I really have a chance to go to watch movies is kind of middle of the afternoon on weekdays, which it sounds great in theory, but it's really not usually that great because you're usually by yourself or anything like that. And so I'm expecting to go into this, sit there in a room by myself, but I get in there and I had ordered my ticket a few days before and I had looked on the seating chart, but it was full.
Wow.
It was like, I was shocked, and it was based on the time. It was a bunch of older people, but I was absolutely taken back by the amount of people that were in the theater at that time of day. And I mean, it's not surprising. I think the word of mouth on this, it's continued to grow, and it's had a very long release. They opened it only in New York, LA, maybe DC, and it just each week it's getting bigger and bigger. And I'm not sure how much longer it'll be in theaters, but if it is in your area, go watch it. It's worth the money. It's worth the trip.
It's going to be worth whenever it's on streaming. Like, get to it quickly. I mean, like like if you can rent it or if you can, you know, buy it VOD, like do.
Yeah, we rarely give recommendations like this for movies. I feel like there's been when was the last one that we were go spend your money?
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
Fat Man, maybe. Is it been that long?
Possibly Fat Man. No, I honestly, I don't know. We need like Matt Hampton to like review the tape. We need to
go back to the scorecard. Yeah. No,
dude, I don't know, but yeah, this is. I am desperate to hear Jen's take on this too, because I really want to hear what she has to say once she actually gets to see it. I will be bummed out if she didn't actually end up watching it just because of like other obligations and stuff. Knowing that you're not going to be called on to talk about it kind of changes the game in terms of like whether or not you make time for stuff. But like, oh man. Yeah, I really hope everybody sees this. Also, for me, like A24, I've talked about this before. A24 is a fascinating studio to me. Like, there are several of their films that I don't care for. You know, again, we had talked about Green Knight, and Jen and I didn't particularly like Green Knight at all. But there's a lot of what they've done is sort of. Like, I don't know, when it's hit or miss for me, but when they're hits, they are really, really big hits. And I just think they're just phenomenal films. And this is one of those. This is one of these where you look at it and you go, wow, that is just nailed it on every possible level. And so, yeah, man, I hope that I don't know. And the other thing too, I was actually going to say something as well. I think part of the problem with like the whole adult film concept is that when you want a really intelligent film, a lot of the time you are forced into a very boring film.
Right.
And so like, yes, they make movies for adults, quote unquote, but they're movies like Power of the Dog, where you're like, I don't want to watch that because it's long and slow and
usually sad.
And not that much happens that's very interesting, only for a couple really standout scenes, perhaps. And even those standout scenes are probably going to tell you something horrible about the state of existence or whatever. This movie is smart and interesting and has a lot of really good things to say about what I think is probably one of the most important issues anybody could be talking about right now, which is really that nihilism versus meaning battle. Mm-hmm. That's kind of going on in our culture right now. And it has good things to say about it. Like it has smart things to say about it. And it does so in such a ludicrously entertaining way. Just more like this, please.
Right.
More of these. I mean, this is just nonstop great surprises.